Hey everybody, it's your friend Jason Pound here answering the top questions asked by home buyers in today's real estate market. And the question we're tackling today is, should I buy a new build construction or should I buy a used existing home? The short answer is most people do what they've already done. So if you and your family have been purchasing new builds, it's 99% sure your next house is going to be a new build. And if your family have typically bought sweat equity projects or have bought remodeled existing homes or have bought average homes and raised them up to above average with sweat equity, you're probably going to do that again. And if you're a first-time home buyer and have never bought or sold a home before, you're probably going to do what your parents did. That's just the way the world works. However, if you are an anomaly and you are actually pondering the difference between buying a used home and a new home, let me over-explain. Here's some things for you to think about. First thing you need to think about is your timeline. If you're wanting to sit down with a builder and pick out a lot and pick out a floor plan and pick out colors and materials and then begin construction, you're looking anywhere from 6 to 14 months before you move into that house based on availability of materials and speed of the builder. However, if you are looking at a used existing home, it is a matter of going out, picking one that you like, and then in 30 days moving in. If it's a cash transaction, you could do it as quick as 2 weeks. Technically, you could do it in 1 day, but you wouldn't be able to get your title work back in time, and you'd never want to buy a house without getting title work. The second thing to consider is not only the timeline for your current move, you need to consider the timeline for your next move. COVID really messed things up in Oklahoma. Typically, homes in Oklahoma go up about 2 to 4% a year. Post-COVID, things were going up anywhere from 12 to 30%, depending on your neighborhood. So the past 5 years are not a representation of what it normally is. In Oklahoma, normally you have to live in a home anywhere from 5 to 7 years to find your break-even period. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, when you buy a new home, you're paying a premium because it comes with all sorts of guarantees and warranties, and your maintenance really doesn't start for the next 10 years. You've got 10 years to save up for your new roof, 10 years to save up for your HVAC, etc. And you paid a premium to have that. Another reason you need to hang on to your property 5 to 7 years is that builder is typically developing a neighborhood, and they typically have anywhere from 3 to 7 building phases. Each year is a new building phase. So when you go on the market in 5 to 7 years, more than likely you are going to still be competing against 1 and 2 year old houses. And think about yourself. If you go out car shopping and you see 2 cars, one is from 2026, one is from 2013, and they're the same exact make and model, you're gonna pay more for the new and less for the old. It works the same way in houses. So if you're gonna have to make a move before the 7-year period, you need to be looking at existing houses and looking at their turnover rates and their appreciation rates. When you're buying into a new build neighborhood, more than likely when it comes time to sell, you're going to be competing against new houses and you're going to lose unless you heavily discount. The third thing that you need to think about is the maintenance bill. When you buy an existing house, you need to realize that the typical roof in Oklahoma lasts around 8 to 10 years. HVAC systems go out, foundations need to be maintained, electrical systems need to be brought up to code, the paint, the flooring, the exterior paint, windows, all of these things need to be constantly maintained and updated, or slowly your house is turning into a depreciating asset rather than an appreciating asset. So when you buy an existing home, you are purchasing a maintenance bill. When you buy a new build home, you're paying a premium because for the next 5 to 10 years, there are no major maintenance issues. It's all about maintaining what you have and not necessarily having to replace anything. The fourth thing that you need to consider is the total cost. And this is something many people don't think about because they can't imagine themselves holding a debt for 30 years and paying every single monthly payment for the next 30 years and looking at what the total cost will be. Many people are only thinking in the next 5 to 7 years, I can make these payments for the next 5 years. I can sell, I can make a little bit money, I can increase my wealth position. They're not thinking total cost. But if you're one of these people who takes into account all of the interest that you're going to pay on your loan, many times you can come out cheaper on the total cost with a new build. When you combine the discounted maintenance that comes with a new build for the first 10 years, and you take into account the type of market we're in, where builders cannot afford to discount the price of their properties or their comps get knocked out of whack. Instead of lowering their price, what they do is they come in and offer you free upgrades. You can get some additional flooring, some additional fencing, some additional blinds. You can get those types of upgrades, or better yet, many times the builders own their own title company, they own their building company, they own their own warranty company, and they own their own lending company. So many times what they'll do is, rather than discount the price, they will heavily discount the rate. And if you can take your rate from 6% down to 5%, you will not believe the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, depending on the loan size, that you will save over the 30 years of payments. So if you take into account the total cost, maybe a new build is the thing for you right now in this current environment. My name is Jason Pound with Jericho Pound Realty Group, Keller Williams, Mullenix, Norman. We service the entire Oklahoma City metro area with hyperlocal expertise in South Oklahoma City, Moore, and Norman. If we can ever be of service, do not hesitate to reach out. In the meantime, peace out. Have a great life.